Budget briefing is hereby resumed. Committee Secretary, please acknowledge our guests present this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. May we acknowledge the presence of Her Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines, Sara Duterte. May we also acknowledge the representative from the Commission on Audit, Assistant Commissioner Alexander Juliano, and from the Department of Budget and Management, Chief Johnny Castillo. May we also acknowledge the members present. May we acknowledge the presence of the former President, Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro, Deputy Speaker Yasser Balindong, Deputy Majority Leader Ino D, Deputy Majority Leader Leanda Bolilla, Deputy Majority Leader Jose Bong Tebes, Deputy Minority Leader Presley De Jesus, our Chairperson Elizalde Co, Senior Vice Chair Stella Kimbo, Vice Chair Zia Alonto Adjong, Vice Chair Rachel Del Mar, Vice Chair Jose Alvarez, Vice Chair Natasha Co, Vice Chair Claude Bautista, Vice Chair Maricar Zamora, Representative Arlene Brosas, Representative Isidro Ungab, Representative Chino Miguel Almario, Representative Raul Manuel, Representative Loreto Amante, Representative Salvador Pleito, Representative Joel Chua, Representative Jefferson Conghun, Representative Bambi Imano, Representative Mark Go, Representative Milagros Aquino Magsaysay, Representative Francisco Paulo Ortega, Representative Micaela Swansing, Representative Ramon Gutierrez, Representative Geraldine Roman, Representative Maria Victoria Copilar, Representative Christian Onabia, Representative Jaime Presnedi, Representative Drixe Cardema, and Vice Chair Alan T. Madam Chair, this is also to formally inform the members of the committee that the COA have complied with the subpoena duces tecum issued by this committee on August 16, 2024 on the submission of the COA report on the use of the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education. The report was submitted on August 21, 2024. A copy of the said audit report has been submitted to the Chairman of the Committee on Appropriations. Members of the committee who wish to access and examine the content of this report are advised to submit a formal written request through the chairperson of the committee. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, salamat. To our Appropriations Chair, the Honorable Elizalde Co, our former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, colleagues, our Vice President, the Honorable Sara Duterte, the OVP family, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. On behalf of Speaker Martin Romualdez, welcome po to the House of Representatives. So today we are discussing the proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President for 2025, which totals 2.037 billion pesos. This 8.05% increase from the current year's budget is intended to support the continuation and expansion of the OVP's key programs. But before we proceed, Committee Secretary, kindly update us on documents received that are relevant to today's hearing.
Madam Chair, I have already stated a while ago that we are in receipt already of the COA audit report.
Salamat. And so with that, Madam President, you may proceed with the budget presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The presentation will be in three parts. The first part is the audiovisual presentation. May we request the Secretariat to please play the audiovisual presentation. Thank you.
The Office of the Vice President's mission to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public service has already reached millions of Filipinos across the country. And the promise of a remarkable and meaningful impact is gleaned from the strength, hard work, and optimism shown by the individuals, groups, and communities being served by the OVP through its interventions that offer immediate and long-term solutions. These interventions were designed, developed, and implemented through the OVP's collaboration with various government agencies, local government units, private groups, people's organizations, and individual partners. The Office of the Vice President, the second highest government office in the Philippines, an institution for public service, an institution of nation building, an institution of change, stability, and progress. The OVP is an institution committed to the success of its programs and initiatives intended to create a lasting positive impact on the lives of Filipinos. Under the leadership of Vice President Sara Duterte, the Office of the Vice President has steadfastly worked to deliver essential social services across different regions of the country. The OVP is an active participant in the movement to achieve the nation's aspiration to have a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient future. We at the OVP continue to share in the noble mission of improving the quality of life of every Filipino family, especially those in the most underserved communities. We provide vital public assistance programs that ensure support, aid in the plight of the vulnerable sectors, and help alleviate the challenges of poverty in many communities. From January 2023 to July 2024, over 360 million pesos combined amount was successfully allocated to urgently address our people's pressing need for medical and burial assistance. A total amount of 364,383,041.87 pesos worth of medical assistance were provided to a total of 79,721 beneficiaries, while 99,240,000 pesos worth of burial assistance were given to 19,882 beneficiaries from various parts of the country. We have carried on in this tireless pursuit by rendering public assistance to thousands of Filipinos through OVP satellite offices in Luzon, Cagayan Valley, Pangasinan, and Bicol. In Visayas, Panay and Negros Islands, Eastern Visayas, and Cebu, Bohol, and Siquijor. And in Mindanao, Caraga, Western Mindanao, Southern Mindanao, and Bar, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. In addition, 2 extension offices of the Public Assistance Division were also opened in Lipa, Batangas, and Tondo, Manila. Each satellite office and extension office across the country complement the functions of the central office in Robinson Cybergate Plaza in Mandaluyong. For fiscal year 2024, the OVP has a 1.885 billion peso available budget under the General Appropriations Act. As of June 30, 2024, the OVP has already obligated 40% of the allotment received, or equivalent to 826.605 million pesos, with a disbursement rate of 70%, or 518.379 million pesos. In our goal of making sure that our people are afforded with safe, accessible, and secured commute, the Office of the Vice President has offered free transportation services to 414,734 Filipinos from January to June 2024. A total of 7 buses were deployed to transport passengers in Bacolod, Cebu, Davao, and Metro Manila. Following the recent calamity that has disrupted the lives of our people in Luzon and some parts of Visayas, we have also intensified our efforts to deliver immediate relief and assistance to affected communities. In adherence to our objective of saving lives and ensuring the utmost safety of all, 462,867 individuals and 134,168 families have benefited from the relief operations mobilized by our Disaster Operations Center from January to June 2024. A total of 58.3 million pesos were effectively allocated to various resource mobilization endeavors in support of all undertakings that aid OVP-DOC's relief and rescue activities. We at the Office of the Vice President continue to rally behind the pursuit of environmental preservation while underscoring the value of education and oral health through the Pagbabago, a Million Learners and Trees campaign. The program is a two-pronged intervention of the Office of the Vice President to provide hope and encouragement to Filipino learners and champion care for our environment. From January 2023 to July 2024, we are pleased to say that over 300,000 trees were planted across many communities all over the country, while over 175,000 bags with dental kits and school supplies were distributed to thousands of young learners in many remote school communities. In ensuring adequate and sustained nutritional support to Filipino school children, the Pan Setup program has provided a total of 1,216,510 Pan Setup buns, which were distributed to several identified school communities in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Our mission lies in our unwavering resolve to equip every young learner through nutrition, while leading them to a healthier future where they can actively nurture their growth potential. Aligning with the agenda of food security and sufficiency, we successfully initiated the distribution of rice bags and food packs to 36,260 Filipino families and individuals who are facing the challenges of hunger and food insecurity. The RISE program of the Office of the Vice President is conducted to extend immediate relief and provide necessary support to our disadvantaged Filipinos under difficult situations. We reiterate our goal of helping our people realize their hopes for better quality of life by paving avenues that urgently address their most pressing needs. Likewise, we remain committed to our mission to promote socio-economic development among women and members of the LGBTQ+ communities by providing livelihood and employment opportunities to the qualified recipients of Magnegosyo Taday program. From January 2023 to July 2024, a total of 1,965,000 worth of livelihood assistance was successfully granted to 50 qualified recipients. They will also undergo technical and financial management training to ensure the success of their projects. We also continue in our resolve to uphold the value of transformational and servant leadership among the Filipino youth through the You Can Be VP program. By promoting immersive opportunities that present the intricacies of governance and policy formulation, we hope that we can inspire them to become equipped and exemplary students with a genuine regard for their nation's welfare. Covering the period of January 2023 to June 2024, 255 local and international engagements were attended by the Office of the Vice President to show support and express our gratitude for the commendable social, civic, and development efforts undertaken by various organizations in the public and private sector. For 2025, the recommended budget for OVP is 2.37 billion pesos, an 8.05 increase compared to the current year appropriation amounting to 1.885 billion pesos. This proposal, once approved, will enable the OVP to continue the operations of the satellite offices and extension offices. It will also ensure the success of the expanded OVP's social services. Hand in hand, we will usher in innovation, carry on transformative progress, and shape a more prosperous future for our people, our communities, and our country. The OVP shares the hopes, aspirations, and dreams of the Filipinos, and we at the OVP take pride that it is an institution that puts the welfare of the Filipinos at the heart of its mission. The OVP commits to lead, serve, uplift, and empower the Filipinos. ang tanggapan ng pangalawang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, pamumunuan, paglilingkuran, aalalayan ang mga Pilipino. Lagi kaming tapat sa bayan.
Thank you, Secretariat. We proceed to the second part, which is the opening statement for the budget. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum. Madayaw, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. On June 19, 2022, I swear an oath to faithfully and conscientiously fulfill my duties as the Vice President of the Philippines. Preserve and defend its Constitution, execute its laws, do justice to every man, and consecrate myself to the service of the nation. It is then my lawful duty to give aid to any person who reaches out to the OVP seeking relief. I must do justice to every man, and I intend to do so. Historically, the medical and burial assistance programs have always been continuing projects of the institution. The legacy projects that we envision, however, includes a permanent office for future vice presidents, a vice president museum, and for the OVP to have its own charter. Unfortunately, the latter projects may never come to fruition given the political climate surrounding the institution. The programs, activities, and projects of the OVP that are original to my term are those that echo my campaign platform of trabaho, edukasyon, at mapayapang pamumuhay. More importantly, these also embody the nature of constant requests and pleas for assistance that we have been receiving in the OVP, majority of which are the medical and burial assistance, followed by assistance for financial difficulties, livelihood, and support for school-related expenses, as well as immediate aid when calamities strike. Aspiring to provide responsive service even to geographically isolated and disadvantaged communities, the OVP established 10 satellite offices, 2 extension offices, a disaster operations center, and extended programs such as the medical and burial assistance, Libreng Sakay, Kalusugan food trucks, and the Pansarap project, Pagbabago, A Million Learners and Trees campaign, Magnegosyo Taday, and relief operations for individuals during crisis and emergencies. These programs fall under the banners of peace, poverty alleviation, calamity response, health, education, and environmental stewardship. These form part of the oath I have taken, as these are repeatedly mentioned and provided for in our Constitution. On the matter of OVP projects being similar to the mandate of other government offices, there is certainly no agency that has the monopoly of government services. No office of the government should be so helpless as to deny assistance to a person in distress. After all, the duty of government is to afford our countrymen with faithful public service. Corollary to this is the issue of politics being involved in relation to the national budget and release of financial assistance. We need not go further than the statement of Senator Amy Marcos during the Senate budget hearing, wherein she corroborated our claim and said, "Ang sasabihin ko lang, hindi naman sa barangay lamang napupolitika ang ayuda, pati dito sa mga senador, pati sa ating pangalawang Pangulo." I shall now address the issues that are germane to the use of public funds. It is my belief that it would be a stretch, if not absurd, to compare the budget of my immediate predecessor to the present budget proposal. We do not have personal knowledge as to why she did not request for a fair budget for her projects. On the issue of security personnel, it must be clarified that during the time of my predecessors, the protection team was only limited to the Vice Presidential Security Detachment. During my term, however, there were legal issuances made by the DND, AFP, PNP, and NAPOLCOM for the creation of the AFP Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group and the PNP Vice Presidential Protection Division. It must also be clarified that the number of security personnel is not determined by the OVP. We are mere recipients of the security personnel detailed to the office. To date, there are no more PNP personnel in the OVP. On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions regarding the confidential funds of the OVP. We have submitted our responses and we assure our full cooperation with the ongoing audit. I am, however, bewildered as to the issues being propagated and the fact that we were able to efficiently utilize funds given to the OVP in December 2022, considering that in the government, usually we disperse millions, if not billions of pesos in a single day. And what makes it even more perplexing is that government agencies are often criticized for low budget utilization rates. For this proposal, as an example, we were even required to explain the low utilization or disbursement rates and present a catch-up plan for such. Turning on the issue of the book I have written, ang libro na pinamagatang Isang Kaibigan ay ginagamit namin sa book donation at book reading or storytelling sessions sa mga paaralang binibisita ko. Isinasagawa namin ito upang mahikayat ang mga bata na mahalin ang pagbabasa at sumulat ng sarili nilang kwento. The inclusion of my name and image on the About the Author page is a common practice for authors and is not intended as a political move. More importantly, the project recipients of the book are elementary students and grade 7 learners. This belies any insinuation of political motives as they will not even be eligible to vote for 2028. Which then brings us to the matter of impeachment. Bilang isang kaibigan, I will not violate the confidence of a few members of the House of Representatives who have either recorded conversations or participated in shared conversations regarding each impeachment proceedings against me. Nonetheless, this is nothing new. Talks of impeachment have been ongoing for several months now. In fact, a member of the lower house has publicly declared in an interview where she was quoted by the Philippine Daily Inquirer saying that in light of the possible numerous violations of the OVP on the use of the 125 million confidential fund, which is not in the 2022 General Appropriations Act, we are not discounting the fact that it may file an impeachment case against the Vice President. Surprisingly, despite the absence of proof as to any wrongdoing, she already revealed the grounds for impeachments when she was also quoted saying as, especially on the misuse of public funds, technical malversation, and violation of the 1987 Constitution. Finally, on the issue of the West Philippine Sea, I stand by the Constitution, which provides that the state shall pursue an independent foreign policy in its relations with other states. The paramount consideration shall be national sovereignty, territorial integrity, national interest, and the right to self-determination. As Filipinos, we are all in agreement that our claim is firmly anchored on the UN Convention on the Law of the Seas and the 2016 Arbitral Award. But we must also bear in mind that bilateral relations are not dictated by a singular issue or concern like a territorial dispute, but rather by a comprehensive approach that considers the broader context of shared interests and regional stability. While silence on specific harassment issues may be perceived as a lack of response, it is essential to recognize that such decisions are made following established mandates and particular responsibilities of relevant agencies. It is well settled that the President is the chief architect of foreign policy. It therefore follows that appropriate agencies are tasked with addressing and implementing measures related to our foreign policy positions and principles. As a reserve officer of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, I sincerely appreciate the sacrifices made by our uniformed personnel in the service of our national interests. However, it is crucial to avoid politicizing their sacrifices for media mileage or social media commentary. Instead, we should focus on ensuring that their efforts are recognized and valued in a manner that respects their contributions and upholds the dignity of their service, which we in the OVP continue to do and have always chosen to do away with the cameras. I shall now proceed to the PowerPoint presentation of the salient points of the OVP budget proposal for fiscal year 2025. May I request the Secretariat for the PowerPoint presentation? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We present the key points from our submitted documents in response to the request of the committee. On item number 1, on the highlights and major thrusts of fiscal year 2025 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President, under the fiscal year 2025 of the National Expenditure Program, the Department of Budget and Management has recommended a budget of 2.03 billion vis-a-vis the 3.240 billion proposal of the Office of the Vice President. The amount recommended is 8.05% higher than the fiscal year 2024 budget as appropriated. The 8% increase is lodged in the expansion of the socio-economic programs, medical and burial assistance, and disaster relief. Out of the 2.37 billion budget, 9.25 pertains to the recommended personnel services budget. The recommended personnel services budget for fiscal year 2025 covers 149 field positions, special duty allowance for military and uniformed personnel, salary for non-permanent positions. It also includes provision for terminal leave benefits of mandatory retirees, loyalty award, and anniversary bonus for OVP personnel. The total personal services, including RLIP for fiscal year 2025 is 188.514 million. The recommended maintenance and other operating expenses, or MOOE, for fiscal year 2025 is equivalent to 1.792 billion. A significant portion of the total MOOE is allocated for financial assistance and subsidies and supplies and materials welfare goods, which account for 52.86% and 15.92% of the total MOOE. The MOOE is 87.98% of the total budget. The total capital outlay budget is 2.77% of the total recommended budget. This covers the procurement of motor vehicles in relation to the ceremonial, diplomatic, and advocacy-based engagements of the OVP. It also includes ICT equipment and various machineries and equipment. As to the appropriation source, the amount of 2.26 billion or 99.5% is under agency-specific and 0.05% is under the retirement and life insurance premium, or RLIP. On item number 2, the matter of budget utilization for the first semester of fiscal year 2024. Out of the current full year allotment of 1.885 billion pesos, the OVP has utilized 785.1 million as of the end of the first semester of 2024, which is equivalent to an obligation rate of 42%. We have disbursed 516.7 million with a disbursement rate of 66%. Based on the combined current year and continuing appropriations, the first semester obligation rate is 40%, while the disbursement rate is 70%. The budget utilization rate for our key programs are as follows. For financial subsidy, which covers the medical and burial assistance and livelihood grants under the Magnegosyo Taday program, the utilization rate is at 41%. For Libreng Sakay, it's 25%. For Pagbabago program, it is 82% based on awarded contracts, but actual distribution only started in the second semester. For the Pansarap program, 4%. Procurement was still under the post-qualification stage as of the end of the first semester. And as for disaster operation, 78%. On item number 3, which is the comparative budget allocation from 2019 to 2025. The appropriated budget of the OVP beginning 2019 is above 500 million. It has significantly increased since then, and under the current year appropriation, the OVP has 1.885 billion, while the appropriation has significantly increased in 2023. The obligation rate remained in good standing and maintained the rate of above 90%. Presented here is a table showing the amounts per allotment class from 2019 to 2025. For fiscal year 2025, the OVP has a recommended amount of 2.037 billion under the fiscal year 2025 National Expenditure Program. Similar to fiscal year 2024 budget, significant portion of the recommended level is under financial assistance and subsidy for the implementation of the medical and burial assistance, as well as the OVP's livelihood project, Magnegosyo Taday. The recommended fiscal year 2025 budget is 8.05% higher than the fiscal year 2024 budget as appropriated due to the expansion of the socio-economic services of the OVP, which is proposed under Tier 2. Of the total OVP proposed budget, 1.269 billion or 62% is allotted for the socio-economic programs of the OVP. On item 4, which is on the issues and concerns in budget execution resulting to low utilization, we would like to note that the 40% obligation rate for the first semester is close to our submitted first semester target of 43%. Bulk of the budget of the OVP is for subsidies, which we intend to spread out and utilize evenly throughout the year. We achieved almost the same utilization rates for the first semesters of the previous year, but we were still able to achieve more than the 90% budget utilization at the end of the year. For 2022, first semester utilization rate was at 50%, while the full year utilization rate was at 92%. For 2023, the first semester utilization rate was at 43.6%, while the full year utilization rate was also at 92%. We also have programs which are to be implemented in the second semester of the year, specifically the Pagbabago and Pansarap programs, which we roll out during the start of the new school year, which begins in June, July, August. Another reason for the utilization rate is the ongoing paper review for the applications received for the Magnegosyo Taday. Sorry, just July and August. there are no classes during the month of June. The disbursement rate of 70% over obligation was due to the unbilled medical assistant grants through various service providers from 10 satellite offices and the central office, as well as undelivered, unpaid, procured goods during the latter part of the first semester. On item number 5, on the spending catch-up plans, to ensure that the OVP will be able to achieve high utilization and disbursement rates at the year end, the OVP will implement the following. First, we will release a grant of assistance under the Magnegosyo Today in the second semester of the year. The first semester of the year was dedicated to accepting applications and thorough paper review and ocular inspection. To date, the implementing unit is in the process of approving the accreditation of associations and processing of grant to individual and group applicants. Second, we will closely monitor the remaining projects under public bidding and ensure that the contracts will be awarded within the fiscal year. The items covered by the awarded contracts are to be delivered in the second semester, and the payment, disbursement for those items should be made before the end of 2024. On item number 6, major accomplishments of the OVP. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP aims to promote the welfare of every Filipino in line with its vision to create lasting impact on the lives of every Filipino through its socio-economic programs and services. In the past 2 years, we have successfully rolled out new programs such as the Libreng Sakay Pagbabago, A Million Learners and Trees Campaign, Kalusugan Food Trucks, and Pansarap Project. The OVP programs are implemented through our central office, satellite office, and extension offices. The OVP established satellite offices and extension offices which are strategically located in key areas in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao to provide Filipinos with immediate access to the services offered by the OVP. In Luzon, we have the Cagayan Valley Satellite Office, Pangasinan Satellite Office, and Bicol Satellite Office. In Visayas, we have the Cebu, Bohol, and Siquijor Satellite Office, Eastern Visayas Satellite Office, Panay and Negros Island Satellite Office, and in Mindanao, we have the Caraga Satellite Office, Southern Mindanao Satellite Office, Western Mindanao Satellite Office, and BARM Satellite Office. All the time, the Southern Mindanao carries the Northern Mindanao areas that are not covered by Western Mindanao and Caraga. We also established 2 extension offices in Tondo, Manila, and Lipa, Batangas. In 2023, we were able to cater to 977,615 beneficiaries out of the 670,300 targets. As of June 30 this year, we have served 684,830 out of the 1,013,620 target beneficiaries. And for 2025, we target to cater 1,139,244 beneficiaries. For fiscal year 2023, the OVP was able to achieve its targets for the outcome and output indicators. From a target of 670,300 beneficiaries, the OVP was able to serve 977,615 beneficiaries across all OVP services, which is 45% higher than target. From a target of 400, the OVP was able to establish or strengthen 793 strategic partnerships. From an 85% target for percentage of requests acted upon with standard processing time and percentage of projects with partners implemented as planned, the OVP achieved 98 and 100% respectively. For the percentage equivalent of average satisfaction ratings for OVP services, the OVP was able to achieve 97% satisfaction rating, 7 percentage points higher than the 90% target. The OVP was able to achieve its target number of ceremonial engagements completed. Out of the 2.4 billion budget in 2023, 2.3 billion was utilized, resulting to an obligation rate of 92%, and 2.1 billion was dispersed, which is equivalent to a 93% disbursement rate. For the current year, we are on track to achieve all our targets under physical performance. The OVP holds a distinct position in our bureaucracy. As the second highest office in the land, the OVP carries out functions that complement the work of other government agencies while advancing the well-being of every Filipino, with a mission to deliver efficient, accessible, and responsive public service. Our work resonates at the core of the nation's welfare and progress. Shukran. Madam Chair, that ends the presentation of the OVP.
Maraming salamat, Madam Vice President. At this point, I'd like to inform the body that the budget sponsor for the office of the Vice President is the Honorable Zia Alonto Adyong. So we will now begin interpellation. Pero bago ang lahat, gusto ko lang sana ipaalala sa mga miyembro at sa ating kagalang-galang na bisita na ang tatalakayan natin ngayong araw ay ang budget ng Office of the Vice President at ang usaping paggastos ng opisina ng ating pangalawang Pangulo. So, also, considering that the reports, if you wish to propound questions on confidential funds and expenses, we request the members to be circumspect in disclosing information and details of operations that may affect national security, public order, and public safety. Right? And of course, the usual reminder that each of you would have only 5 minutes and that the responses of our resource persons would not be included in those. So, our first to interpolate would be from the minority. We have our Deputy Minority Leader, Franz Castro.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Am I
Madam Chair.
recognized?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, Madam Vice
Yes.
President.
I would like to forgo the opportunity to defend the budget in a question and answer format. I will leave it up to the House to decide on the budget submitted.
Madam Vice President, we have 17 members listed for interpellation. And as you know, you've been here many times for our budget briefing, that this is an important part of the budget briefing. The GAA, the General Appropriations Act, is arguably the most important piece of legislation every year. At kasama po ito, ang pagtatanong at pakikinig po sa sagot po ninyo ay napaka-importante pong input sa aming pong trabaho. So, yun po, kami po ay, we will proceed to ask questions.
Madam Chair, my answer for every question will be, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the budget of the Office of the Vice President through a question and answer. And I will leave it to the House to decide on the budget submitted. So, magsasayang tayo ng oras dito, paulit-ulit yung sagot.
That is acceptable to us. Unless I hear any objection, that is acceptable to us.
Okay.
Because it is, I believe, karapatan din po ng bawat Pilipino na marinig po nila ang katanungan po ng 17 po na nakalista sa ngayon. Palagay ko, kung meron pong dadating dito, baka dumagdag po. Pero marami pong issues na hinaharap po tayo ngayon. Kayo po mismo, nakikinig po kami sa inyong speech po kanina, kahit na hindi po siya related po sa ating budget. Marami pong na-spark na mga tanong, kaya palagay ko, kaya nga sinabi ko kanina, ilimit natin ang mga tanong tungkol sa budget. So, yun po. So, kung kayo po ay binigyan po namin ng pagkakataon na i-share po ang insights, kami rin po ay magsasabi din po ng aming mga katanungan. So, with that, the Deputy Minority Leader,
Madam
Franz
Chair.
Castro, may now proceed. With all due respect,
I will not
Madam Chair.
repeat my question every time, my answer every time there is a question. And may I seek permission that every time there is a question, that is my answer.
Madam Chair, I will call you and you can do as you please, Madam Chair. But I will recognize you.
Okay. And then, Madam Chair, may I be given the opportunity to explain why I will not and I will forgo the opportunity to defend the budget in a question and answer in the committee and leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the budget submitted.
Madam Chair,
Madam
point of
Chair.
order. Kasi po, tapos na ang presentation time kanina. So that was the opportunity for the resource person para magsalita. So now we have formally entered the interpellation period. So mas mainam po na pakinggan na ng Vice Presidente ang tanong na ating mga House members.
Tama po. So, the Chair agrees with the Honorable
Chair.
Manuel.
Excuse me,
We will
Madam
proceed with the question and
Excuse me, Madam Chair. Wait or order.
please wait to be recognized, sir. So, we will proceed
That's why
at this
point
point.
of order, Madam Chair.
And what is your point of order? May we know the rule on which your point of order is based? The Honorable Bautista, may we know the rule on which your point of order is based?
Because the Vice President already manifested that
Kindly, sir, present the rule so we can rule accordingly. What is the rule on which your point of order? What is the point of order first and the rule on which this is
what's the
based?
point of order also of Congressman Raul? If you will question
Yes.
me, my point of order, you have to also to question the point of order of Congressman Raul.
So we will make the Honorable Manuel repeat his point of order and the rule, because this is clear based on the rules that we approved during our first hearing relating to the budget. So please repeat that.
Madam Chair, ang point of order natin ay bata yun sa paano ang rules of procedure natin sa Committee on Appropriations na after mag-present ng ating mga resource persons, they are given time, kung may slide sila, may video sila, may speech sila, nasa kanila po yun. And after that, ay magpo-proceed sa questions ng ating mga mambabatas. So yun po yung established rules natin sa Committee on Appropriations na supposedly ay alam din ng lahat ng mga members natin. So kung iniiba natin yung format, yan ay pagbabali dun sa established rules ng committee, Madam Chair.
Yes, and
Madam Chair,
so excuse me, Madam Vice
Yes,
President, there's a point of order that was raised, so we have to first rule on that. So there's a procedure that we have to follow.
yes,
Madam,
may I just say that this is not part of the presentation? This is an explanation of my answer.
no, but there is a
Diba?
point of order which we will have to first decide upon. Pasensya na po. So, there's some, are you objecting to the ruling of the chair, the Honorable Bautista? So we have taken note of the point of order, which we have accepted, and at this point, the chair rules that we shall proceed. So the Honorable Franz Castro may now proceed with her interpellation. You have the floor, ma'am.
Madam Chair, siguro first observation, no, yung on the budget for the 2024, yung Vice President na nagsabi, Madam Chair, na slow and low utilization. So nakita naman natin doon sa presentation. So yung utilization ay napakababa. Pero syempre comment ko lang, no, mas mabilis siya sa confidential funds. 100% in 11 days.
Madam Chair,
So, Madam Chair, so according to the utilization of the confidential and intelligence funds submitted by the COA to us, no, so we have here surveillance and monitoring. Sabihin ko lang, Madam Chair, no, yung purchase of information out of 125 million confidential funds in 2022, purchase of information 14 million, payment of reward 10 million, rental and other incidental expenses relative to the maintenance of safe houses 16 million, purchase of supplies 35 million, provision of medical and food aid 40 million, payment of incentives or traveling relative to confidential operations is 10 million. So a total of 125 million conducted surveillance in 132 areas in 11 days. So 100% utilization. Madam Chair, I have also here a report about the notice of disallowance. According to the notice of disallowance, the COA disallowed 73,287,000 out of 125 million confidential funds used by the OVP in 2022. So this is 58.63% of the 125 million. So can you confirm, the Vice President?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, since you allowed her a snide comment, you will allow me a snide comment as well.
So my question
Diba?
is,
Madam,
can you
yes.
confirm?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Diba?
Okay.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So,
Before you proceed, may I remind both our guests and our resource
You should have
persons
reminded her
to
when she said the
refrain
line, diba? I called your
from-
attention, Madam Chair. You did not recognize me. So, ngayon, sasabihin ko na, if you allowed her that, you allowed me a snide comment as well.
I don't recall hearing a snide comment, Madam Vice President. Ang snide comment, that's a matter of judgment. So please proceed
Secretariat, Madam
proceed,
Chair, I
ma'am,
would like the
with your-
Secretariat to repeat the first 3 lines of the
well,
comments.
point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order, Madam Chair, kasi parang,
So let's please proceed with the answer.
point of order,
Madam
Madam Chair, kasi parang siya yung nagpe-preside eh.
Yes, that's why
Kasi inutusan
Madam
mo
Vice
yung
President.
secretariat natin sa Committee on Appropriation.
Yes.
Alam mo,
Some
ano,
order,
diba?
please.
So,
Yes.
okay, thank you,
Madam
Madam
Vice
Chair.
President, please proceed with the response. There's a question. Please proceed with the response.
Madam Chair, I do not understand bakit a person convicted of child abuse is still sitting in a seat.
Point of
Of the
order,
House of
Madam Chair, ito yung sinasabi
Representatives.
natin na dinadivert ang usapan sa ating budget hearing. Kung nagawa po niya yan sa Senado, Madam Chair, dapat hindi natin yan pahintulutan dito sa Kamara.
You allowed her a snide comment and then you will not allow
Please,
me
please wait
a
to be
snide
recognized.
comment?
Excuse me, our members and our guests.
I warned
please,
you.
Please wait
Don't
to
go
be
into this rabbit hole.
Please wait to be acknowledged before you speak. Okay, so at this point, Honorable Manuel.
Yes, Madam Chair, again, it's another point of order kasi kapag may mga deliberation tayo, we should stick to the topic. Hindi pwede, Madam Chair, na dinadivert natin yung usapan para hindi natin sagutin yung tanong ng mga mambabatas natin. This is actually the best opportunity, formal proceedings, nakikita po ng publiko para malaman anong sagot ng Vice Presidente. So hindi po natin napapayagan ang ganong mga argumento na hindi naman tumutumbok dun sa topic natin.
So Madam Vice
Chair,
President, there's
I
a
will make this
question.
easy for
Please-
you.
Please make
Sige, ma'am.
your responses direct to the point.
Sige, ma'am. I will make this easy for you. What rules are we using for this budget hearing?
We have our rules
Yes, ma'am.
adopted by the Committee on Appropriations.
Right, okay. We searched for that rule. So we only found the general rules. So we have a copy of the rules for the budget hearings.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, mas importante ang rules para sa amin. Kayo po, ang kailangan nyo lang marinig is yung acknowledgement for you to begin to speak. Yun lang po ang pinaka-importante para sa guests. Sa totoo lang po.
Yes, ma'am.
So, ang pinaka-importante, yes, you may proceed. At saka po yung adjournment. Yun lang po. Yung termination po. Yun ang pinaka-importante lang po. For the rules, yun ang ay importante para sa members. But we may provide the copy to you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
please proceed and answer the
May we
question.
request a copy?
Yes, yes, absolutely. But
Yes.
please, there is a question. And do you want us to repeat the question? And we will not penalize you all the time.
I don't
You can repeat the facts from the notice of disallowance.
I don't need a repeat of
Honorable
the
Franz.
question.
Yes, Honorable Franz Castro, you may repeat your question on the notice of disallowance, I believe.
Yeah, tama, Madam Chair. So according to COA, the notice of disallowance is amounted to 73,287,000 out of 125. At ito po, Madam Chair, yung mga breakdown ng mga disallowed na mga na mga purchases. So reward payment of 10 million, payment of rewards, various goods 34.857 million, payment of rewards, medicines 24.93 million, tables, chairs, desk, computer and printers 3.5 million. So, ang question, Madam Chair, so yung letter A, B, and C, so nakita naman natin nandoon yung sa joint circular. How about yung ito, no? How about yung mga tables, chairs, desktop, computer, na umabot po ito sa 3.5 million. So, pwede bang maipaliwanag kung bakit ito pinurchase, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I still request for the rules of the budget hearings. Okay,
Vice President.
gusto mo sagutin ko, ma'am.
Yes, Madam.
This is a hearing of the budget of 2025. Nasaan dito ang confidential funds? Yung tanong niya,
Madam
confidential
Chair.
funds. Nasaan dito?
Honorable
Madam Chair,
Franz, you may
ito yung continuing, continuing questions pa natin noong 2024, during the last budgets. Hindi na ipaliwanag itong 125 million na alam naman natin na wala ito sa budget ng 2022. So, ito, Madam Chair, sa rule naman natin, lahat dito tinatanong no? So, according to the budget, whether it is in the past, kasi nakikita natin yung utilization noong mga budget, kahit na yung past years, ay pwede nating busisiin dito, Madam Chair. Tama ba ako, Madam Chair?
I will agree with you, the Honorable Franz Castro. You may proceed,
Yes,
Madam
ma'am.
Vice President.
Yun yung sagot ko, ma'am. Nasaan ang topic natin dito at ang pinasubmit ninyo sa amin is the budget proposal of 2025. Where in the budget proposal of 2025 is the item confidential funds. In aid of legislation nga ninyo, nakalagay nga doon sa rules ninyo, diba? The discussion should be germane to the topic. The topic is the 2025 budget proposal. Now tell me,
Madam Vice
Where
President, the Honorable Franz
confidential
Castro has already provided a sufficient explanation for why she asked the question. So please proceed with your answer.
Madam Chair,
It's a very
why are we
simple
discussing
question.
the budget of 2023 and 2024?
Honorable Franz Castro.
So, kung ayaw niya sagutin, Madam Chair, so let me go through na lang with my question. Kasi related naman ito. Remember, Madam Chair, question natin ito noong last year At yung 125 million na ito ay hindi ito maipaliwanag, no? Dahil nga confidential no? Nagtago sa word na confidential. At ngayon, kailangan nating maipaliwanag at it is in the interest of the people. Yung 125 million na ito, Madam Chair, kaya kailangan ito na mabusisi at kailangan ito maipaliwanag ng OVP. Kaya hindi tayo pwedeng questionin ng mga rules, questionin ng mga topic, etc. Dahil related din naman talaga ito sa budget, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Yes, you may
Yes.
proceed.
I request that the chairperson of the Finance Committee preside over this hearing.
Madam Vice President, with due respect, you are not allowed to do that, Madam Vice President. You are not allowed to introduce any motion. You are a research person at this
Not-
hearing, Madam President,
I did
Vice
not move,
President.
ma'am. I requested
same vein.
your resource person, I requested
So
that the
your request
chairperson
is
of the
denied,
committee.
Madam Vice President. Just please answer the question. The issue on confidential funds falls squarely within our discussion of your 2025 budget.
Narinig mo yung sinabi niya, ma'am? Narinig mo yung,
please proceed.
nakikinig ka sa kanya kanina?
Absolutely.
Walang rules dito.
Please proceed and answer the question. It's a very simple question.
Di ba?
Please explain the specific spending on those items that she enumerated, amounting to a total of, honorable friends, do you want to
Amounting
repeat
to a
that?
total of 73.287 million. So, dahil may notice of disallowance, so ibig sabihin, Madam Chair, illegal ito at not in accordance with the joint circular by the COA, DBM, and other related agencies. So kung ito ay dinisallow, so ibig sabihin illegal yung paggamit nito. Madam Chair, nitong mga items na binanggit ko po, Madam
Madam
Chair.
Yes, Madam Vice President.
You cannot allow a member of the House to just claim that it is illegal. That is a
Madam
notice
Chair.
of disallowance. That is a procedure inside the Commission on Audit. Hindi sa upuan niya.
Honorable friends.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So, thank you for the explanation, Vice President. Okay, next. According to accomplishment report of OVP, it spent 10 million for payment of reward. So, Madam Chair, in 11 days, ilang tao kaya at magkano kada tao ang reward? In fact, COA disallowed the whole amount spent by OVP for payment of reward. Hindi ba, Madam Chair, questionable ito?
Madam Chair, the invitation letter that we received from the House of Representatives. Dear Vice President Duterte, the House Committee on Appropriations will hold briefings, hearings on the budget proposals of various departments, agencies, and corporations relative to the fiscal year 2025 National Expenditure Program as the basis of the fiscal year 2025 General Appropriations Bill. Nasaan? Sa presentation ko kanina, ang haba. Ang confidential funds.
Honorable Franz Castro. Can we request our technical people to fix the mic? Can everybody check their mics and make sure that they're switched off para maka-switch on yung si Franz.
Meron na ako. Meron na. Add even yata to eh.
Madam Chair, point of order lang ulit, Madam Chair. Kasi kailangan lang nating ma-establish. I would assume hindi naman po pinanganak kahapon ng ating resource person. Practice po natin sa
Madam
House
Chair, that is a
bago
polite
po-
remark.
na para po tayo ay makapagtalakay ng budget na pinopropose para sa susunod na fiscal year, chine-check natin paano din gumagastos yung mga ahensya even in the current year and in the past year. Also, Madam Chair, Section 162, Rulings as Precedents, rulings on questions raised by members shall form part of the parliamentary practice of the House. At practice po natin since time immemorial na hindi lang po ang proposed budget yung tinatalakay. Kasi yung performance ay dapat bahagi din ng discussion. Yun lang, Madam Chair.
Noted. Honorable Franz, could you kindly check if your mic works?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So, so yun po, no, yung sinasabi natin kanina, yung payment ng reward, the resource person can answer this. Questionable, tingin ko ay questionable ito. Okay? So, next, according to the accomplishment report, isa sa pinaggamitan ng OVP ng confidential funds ay yung provision of medical and food aid. This is not allowed under the Joint Circular number 2015-01 dahil kailan pa naging confidential fund ang pagbibigay ng ayuda. Or kung ito naman ay ginamit sa mga ginamit na tao o informant in 11 days. So paano kaya ginamit itong 40 million na ito, no, para sa medical and food aid in 11 days, Madam Chair? So yun yung tanong ko. Kung hindi ito ginamit doon sa mga aids, medical aid or food aid, pero paano kaya, Madam Chair, ginamit itong 40 million na ito as a medical and food aid ng ilang tao in 11 days? So, yun po yung tanong natin, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, the subject of this hearing is the OVP 2025 budget proposal. We do not have an item of confidential funds in the OVP budget proposal.
Honorable Franz.
So, may I continue, Madam Chair? Isa sa bumubukol na confidential fund ng OVP noong 2022 ay nasabi ko na, Madam Chair, yung medical and food aid at saka yung mga purchase of supplies. According to the accomplishment report, the OVP spent 40 million for medical and food aid in 11 days. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, Madam Chair, konting math, pumapatak na 3.64 million kada araw ang gastos, no, para sa food and medical aid. So hindi natin maintindihan, Madam Chair, paano ito ginastos in 11 days, no? 3.64 million kada araw dito sa item na ito.
Madam Vice
Do you want to
President.
comment?
Madam Vice President.
I did not call you, ma'am. It was Representative Arroyo who called you.
The chair would like to remind both the resource persons and the members to please wait to be acknowledged before you speak.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Tinawag
you
mo
mean,
ako.
yes,
For what, ma'am?
to respond.
So any comment, Madam Chair, dun sa sinabi natin based dun sa accomplishment report? So kung gagamitan natin ng konting math, 3.64 million kada araw ang gastos para sa medical and food for 11 days. For how many people ba ito?
Madam Chair, the topic and the invitation of the House of Representatives to the Office of the Vice President for this hearing is the 2025 budget proposal. There is no confidential funds in the 2025 budget proposal.
For the information of the body, the letter that we sent, our Madam Vice President, reads as follows. In the second paragraph, we noted the following topics to be discussed. Item number 3 is comparative budget allocation and utilization rate from fiscal year 2019 to 2023. That's item number 3. So I can provide you copies of the letter. So clearly, confidential funds spent in 2022 falls squarely within that. So yes, Honorable Francie, may proceed.
Yes, Madam Chair. So, mukhang hindi na tayo sasagutin ng hindi na ako sasagutin ng ating Vice President. So, sa bawat sagot kasi na ganyan ng ating Vice President, for the record, since ayaw magpaliwanag ang BP, so ibig sabihin nito, yung paggastos ng 125 million ay na pera ng taong bayan ay hindi maipaliwanag. So, yun lang, Madam Chair. Kaya hinihiling natin sa Vice President o OVP na kailangan na maipaliwanag itong mga sinasabing item dito. Anyway, Madam Chair, sa kanila naman ang galing, no, yung utilization at confidential and intelligence fund. And of course, ito lang naman ang hawak ko din dito, yung notice of disallowance. Kaya gusto talaga nating maintindihan, Madam Chair, kung ang notice of disallowance ay, so syempre, papaliwanag pa nila yan, kung paano, 'di ba? So kailangan malaman din ng taong bayan na sila yung nagbibigay ng pondo para sa operations ng OVP at lahat ng mga agency. At kailangan yung maipaliwanag. So hindi pwede yung ganyan na yung tactics na ganyan na parang parang sorry for the pusit, na kapag nasusukol na ang pusit ay nagaano ng maitim na tinta. So, ayaw natin ng ganun, Madam Chair, kasi yung atin namang pinag-uusapan dito ay budget. No? So, wag naman mag-ugaling pusit ang Office of the Vice President.
Madam Chair, may I point of information only, Madam Chair? May I? Madam Chair,
No, sorry, wait. Before you, I'd like to, before we proceed to the next person on the list, I believe that our former President, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, would like to interject.
Observation made in relation to the point of order, because in the beginning, it was settled that the issue would be the 2025 budget. And in all our hearings, to what I recall, when we want to question something about performance, we question the 2024 budget, not the 2023 budget. What is being questioned now is the 2023 budget, which was discussed very extensively last year. And that is the reason why the House removed the confidential funds. So that issue has already been, to my mind, for purposes of the budget hearing, laid to rest. So that's my observation, Madam Chair.
We note that, Madam former President, but of course we know that yung pong pondo ng 2023 ay of course pwede pa rin maging continuing appropriation hanggang 2024. So in the same way, 2022 pwede maging continuing pa rin 2023. At alam din po natin, last year pinagdebatihan po natin ng matindi itong 2022 confidential funds, and in fact, we left a homework for the COA. Sinabi natin sa kanila na kailangan nilang tapusin ang audit by November, I believe mid-November of last year. And since then, hindi na natin alam kung ano nangyari. So that's the reason for why tinatalakay natin ito. And it's a big amount of money. I believe we owe it to the people to understand what happened. Of course, tinanggal na natin noong 2024. Gusto natin malaman, tama ba yung ginawa natin? Kasi baka naman nagkamali tayo. So, I think it's worth assessing what we did in 2024 in order to know what to do in 2025. So with that, let's proceed with our next
Madam Chair,
interpreter.
may I?
Is this just a point of order?
Not a point of order, but
We will
I'm
only,
just,
we will, you may wish
want to
to
be a
be,
rejoinder of what our
you may wish
colleagues-
to be, unless it's a point of order, you may wish to be listed. I can put you here, sir.
Parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair.
Yes, you may.
Parliamentary inquiry. May I ask if the resource person is required to answer a question that is related to a commission on audit notice of disallowance when she already said she's not going to answer. Also, the notice of disallowance is addressed to the office of the Vice President. And just to make it clear, a notice of disallowance is not a judgment. It is a request. It is an order from the Commission on Audit for the particular office to explain what are the particulars. At saka hindi na yan legislation side. That is already on the accountability side in the budget cycle. So, my parliamentary inquiry, Madam Chair, is that nagsabi na nga siya na hindi siya sasagot and it is related to the COA notice of disallowance. And, just to add, sinabi na rin ni former President, it was thoroughly discussed in the previous year. In fact, tinanggal sa budget ng 2024 yung confidential fund. And we know that there's a pending case on that also. To discuss that further might somehow prejudice or be biased whatsoever. So, yun lang po, Madam Chair.
All right, salamat. On your inquiry, the only requirement is to provide a direct response on the question. Meaning to say, a response that is directly related to the question. Meaning to say, kung may question at ayaw niyo pong sagutin niyo ng diretsahan na hindi po ako sasagot dun sa tanong. Ang problema po kasi, ang response ay naging hindi related dun sa tanong. Halimbawa, may tanong, ang sagot ay paglalarawan doon sa nagtanong. So, hindi naman yon klaro na hindi yon directly related dun sa tanong. Kaya, yun po, I think it's a reasonable ask. If there's a question, you may or may not answer. You're not compelled. But you just please say, I do not wish to answer. That's it. At least we know it's a direct response. And with that, we move to the next
Madam Chair,
person on the list.
Madam Chair.
Madam
Chair.
Hindi na po tayo matatapos.
yan ang sinabi ko sa iyo kanina. Ayaw mo maniwala sa akin eh. Aabot talaga tayo ng bukas dito. Diba? Madam Chair.
Is this an inquiry regarding...
He said,
Yes, and
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
I remind also our
Yes, ma'am.
resource persons to please act in a respectful manner. Pasensya na po, hindi po kasama sa poder ninyo ang pagpa-fire ng presiding officer ng hearing na to. So yes, you need to
so
proceed
if
po.
you allow members of the House of Representatives lines like what you just said, like pusit, bakit mo ako kinocrucify for saying a fact that somebody is convicted of child abuse sitting in the chair? Pusit, and then I cannot fire the presiding chair. So bakit?
Yes, we
Bakit napaka one-sided nito, ma'am?
noted po.
Dahil ba madami kayo dyan sa kabila at nag-iisa ako dito?
We note all your comments, ma'am, and let us now proceed. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Chair, point of order.
Yes, the Honorable Benny Abante.
I just came in, I hear this. We're not talking about the budget, we're accusing each other here. I'd like to find out from the resource speaker if this is the kind of hearing that we're going to have.
Sir, I am not the presiding officer of this hearing.
I know,
Yes, sir.
But the thing is, you're asking questions, Madam Chair. The resource speaker does not have any right to ask questions. Or do you have?
Where is that
Madam Vice
in your
President,
rules that
Madam Vice
resource
President,
person
this is a
cannot
budget hearing.
request for clarification?
Some order, please. Some order, please. Yes, Honorable Benny Abante, you may proceed.
I'm just asking a question to our resource speaker. You know, because she's asking a question and she's accusing some of the members of this committee. I just would like to find out if we are the ones that have the right to ask questions and her right is to answer the questions of the committee.
Okay, so we
Yun lang po sa akin yung point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I think you understand me,
Yes.
Madam Vice President. Am I right?
No, sir. I'm gonna ask the chair to ask you to clarify what are my
Yeah,
accusations.
please wait to be recognized, ma'am. Pasensya na po. So again, I'd like to remind our resource persons that you are here, you're invited to answer, to present, and you've done that. Thank you very much. And at this point in time, you're here to respond to the questions of our members, and we request you to please respond in a direct way. So, with that, I'd like to recognize from the majority the Honorable Milagros Aquino Magsaysay. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, sa ating committee chairperson at sa aking mga kasama sa Kongreso at ganun din po sa ating mga panauhin mula sa OVP sa pangunguna ng ating Vice President, Sara Duterte, Carpio at iba pang sangay ng gobyerno. Madam Chair, meron lang po akong dalawang maikling katanungan na nais kong mabigyan ng linaw. Ang una ay nais kong itanong sa OVP kung meron po bang mga programa ang inyong opisina patungkol sa ating mga minamahal na senior citizens. At kung meron po, pwede po bang paki-furnish ang aking office ng listahan para naman po alam ko kung ano po ang isasabihin ko sa aking mga senior citizen na pakinabangan naman sa Office of the Vice President. Pangalawa po, sa COA, nais ko pong itanong para po sa mga hindi masyadong nakakaunawa, pakipaliwanag po kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng Notice of Disallowance at ano po ba ang ibig sabihin kung ang iyong opisina ay mabigyan nito. Yan lang po, Madam Chair, at muli magandang hapon po sa lahat.
Okay, salamat. Let's begin with the first question, Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, we do not distinguish for the recipients of our projects. Senior citizens can readily avail of the medical and burial assistance, the Magnegosyota Day, and other projects of the OVP, including the kalusugan food trucks during calamities and the libreng sakay. So, ma'am, hindi po kami nag-exclude ng mga senior citizens. Welcome po sila lahat sa mga projects ng Office of the Vice President.
Salamat, Madam Vice President. So, pwede kong sabihin sa aking mga senior citizens na pwede silang mag-avail ng medical assistance and financial assistance.
Yes, ma'am, of course. And then we do have the senior citizen express lane, ma'am, for senior citizens
Thank you.
sa aming mga opisina. Your second question, ma'am, is the notice of
Madam
disallowance.
Vice President, I believe that was addressed to
Sa
the
ko
COA.
po inano yung question.
So,
Okay.
which means the chair recognizes our Assistant Commissioner Alexander Oliano, sir.
Madam Chair, good afternoon. Ang notice of disallowance po ay, ang ibig sabihin niya, hindi pwede yung expenditure kasi either irregular, unnecessary, excessive, extravagant, or unconscionable. Pero hindi po nangangahulugan na pagka may notice of disallowance ay yun na yung final kasi meron pa pong appeal process sa commission. Hanggang hindi po na-resolve ng commission proper yan, doon po masasabi talaga na yung ground ng notice of disallowance ay tama. Pero meron pa rin pong karapatan ng persons liable na mag-apila sa Supreme Court po. Ang final determination po do sa notice of disallowance ng Supreme Court.
So, ibig sabihin po nito, kung may notice of disallowance po, ay ibig sabihin hindi tama yung paggastos ng pondo. Ganun po ba yon?
Yun po yung naging evaluation ng auditor na nag-audit po ng
Okay.
transaction.
Salamat po. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
Salamat. Next to interpolate from the minority, we have the Honorable Arlene Process.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, first of all, Madam Chair, I would like to ask that it be stricken from the record yung talks about issues related to the case of Congresswoman Franz Castro because it is not related in the budget hearing. Madam Chair.
Honorable Process, could you please introduce the appropriate motion?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that it be stricken off the record the issues pertaining or related to the case of Honorable Franz Castro, which was said by the resource person. Madam Chair.
Okay. Is there an objection? Hearing none, the same is
Objection,
approved.
Madam Chair.
What is the objection?
Objection is it is a fact that there was a conviction. Period, Madam Chair.
And
Yes, Madam
Honorable
Chair, I believe it is not related to the briefing and it is being appealed right now. So Madam Chair, wala po tayo sa disposition para pag-usapan yun dito. And Madam Chair, ang hinihiling ko lang ay tanggalin yun sa record, Madam Chair. And it is very, I think it is reasonable to ask that of the committee, Madam Chair.
right, given that there is an objection, we divide house. Before we divide house, the Honorable Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo.
Madam Chair, before on my part, before I can decide on whether I will agree or join the objection, I've not heard of this case before. Can we know a little bit more about this case?
Madam Chair.
Yeah. Alvarez, I believe that this is not the proper forum to discuss the case. So, but,
By the House overdue.
so, with all due respect, Madam
Madam Chair.
Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, yes,
I just want to make a
before we
motion,
divide-
Madam Chair.
we need to rule on
That's
the
a line. That's a line.
motion.
That's in line with the Office of the Vice President talking about the case of Franz Castro and our Honorable Aaron Rosas. Once that all the records about the utterances be deleted from this hearing. I also move, Madam Chair, that yung utterances ni Franz Castro na illegal yung disbursement, hindi siya dapat ang palawanag ng illegal. So I want to have that taken off the record. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I explain why I voted in the negative?
okay,
Just an
let's-
explanation, Madam Chair. You know, Madam Chair, I have been in the Congress, this Congress for a long time.
excuse me,
May I explain, Madam Chair.
Kung si-
This is very relevant,
Let us
Madam Chair, very
first-
relevant. Very relevant. Just give me a few minutes. You know, I have been in this Congress for a long time. Even in the plenary, even in the committee hearing, kapag sinabi mo, be stricken off the record, nandyan pa rin yung words. Ilagyan lang ng underline, parang i-cross. Di ba? So, nababasa pa rin yun. And kaya nga sabi ko, i-strike mo from the record or not, nandyan pa rin yung words, hindi yun mawala. I-close lang yan. Maraming matatagal na dito sa Kongreso. Look at the records. It says, for example, what you say, Claudio Bautista is handsome. And you want to say, you want to strike that from the record, i-cross lang yan. And it's still there. Yun, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. That is duly noted. And as we vote, you can take note of the observation of the Honorable Sid Ungab. So, those in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. To strike out the utterances in relation to the case.
Madam Chair, clarificatory.
Yes, Honorable.
Just to be clarified, there was a prior motion to strike off the records utterances in relation to the alleged case of the Honorable Franz Castro. There was another motion, I believe, to also strike off the record the...
No. We do it sequentially first.
Can we request the chair to
Reiterate, yes. Okay, so there is a motion introduced by Arlene Brosas. Could you please repeat?
Madam Chair, may I move that the issues and the words pertaining to specifically to the case of Honorable Franz Castro be stricken off the record. It was made, or the utterances were made specifically by the Vice President, Madam Chair.
So those in favor of the motion, again, to delete, raise your hand. And the committee secretary, kindly take note of the votes. Those who are not in favor of the motion, this time please raise your hands. Okay, so the vote,
46 for the motion.
okay, those in favor, 46, those not in favor, 2. So the motion is carried. Sorry, those not in favor, 3. So with that, the motion is carried.
Motion on the
Madam Chair, there was
Now, there is a
motion, additional motion.
And there is a second motion introduced by the Honorable Jose Alvarez. Could you kindly read the
The
motion?
other motion, Madam Chair, is to strike off the records the utterances of our Honorable Franz Castro about the illegality of the way that the ACOA reported the NDA, and as far as she is concerned, she is not the final judge on whether that notice of allowance already final or not. Thank you.
Madam Chair, may I explain?
Yes, Honorable Franz
So, yung
Castro.
sinabi ko po, Madam Chair, kanina, on the comment on the notice of the disallowance worth 73.287 million, sinabi ko po, ito po ay illegal in accordance with the joint circular. Tama naman po, no? Kasi hindi to tumutugma doon sa mga letters according to the joint circular. So, yun po yung tinutukoy ko, Madam Chair. Hindi ko naman sinasabing, wala naman po akong binanggit na final na ito, no? Sinabi lang natin na hindi ito in accordance with the joint circular, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
And to Honorable Alvarez, is that the statement that you wish to be stricken off the record?
Yeah, with the ones that she said that is illegal, because the notice of disallowance, the office of any government office has the right to appeal the decision of the COA, and before the exit conference on the appeal could be formulated, there is nobody guilty of any offense.
I second the motion, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, was it objected to, the motion of Representative Alvarez? Kasi we can only proceed with the voting if there's...
Is there any objection? Is there any objection to the motion of the Honorable Alvarez?
Yes, I'd like to explain my objection,
Yes,
Madam
please,
Chair.
the Honorable,
I think nasa ano na po yun, nasa task ng ating committee secretariat to accurately quote and put kung ano talaga ang
Let's just-
nasabi nung ating colleague. So, yun na po ang magiging batayan, and it's up to the members of the House and the public to appreciate kung ano yung mga nasabi. But I believe that the topic is really connected to our discussion right now, which is how the OVP used its budget and how it will use its future budget, Madam
Yes.
Chair.
1 minute suspension while we produce a transcript so I can read the exact statement. Right, 1 minute suspension.